The New Media Journal, a new media news issues e-zine featuring researched opinion and news beyond the headlines.
Now, I believe that the Secretary of State, the Secretary of Defense, and you have to make your own decision as to what the President knows, that this war is lost, and that the surge is not accomplishing anything as indicated by the extreme violence in Iraq yesterday.
You, Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid, an anti-war progressive left Democrat from Nevada, believes the war is lost. You and the other cut-and-run defeatists in the United States Congress believe the only thing to do is to pull our troops out at the earliest possible moment and leave the people of Iraq to battle the tyranny of al-Qaeda terrorists on their own, before they are capable of doing so. Well, Senator Reid, your idea of how the war effort is going doesn't coincide with those who have boots on the ground. One caller to syndicated radio host Neil Bort's show said this:
Sir, I would like to finish my job. We were given a very clear and defined mission to set up a government which could sustain itself, defend itself, and run itself by itself. Now, I don't know how you can make that any plainer. 9 members of my unit I have carried off in a black bag that I've zipped up. I refuse to believe that I am going to have to come home and say that all of that was for nothing. It is not right that I cannot set that country up and finish that job. Well, I'm a Ranger. I do not fail. I have never failed at anything. And all I ask of these people is that they believe me. I can do this job. I will finish this job. I will set that country up. That country will work. It will have a government. It will have an army. And by God, if I have to die to do it, it will function on its own. If people will just let me do my job. The other people that are trying to stop us, I beg you to stop. And please put the effort into supporting us. I will die for this country if it will just let me come home proud. If they bring me home, those guys that died for nothing. They talk about redeployment. It's nothing more than failure. I can't express to you how much this is killing us over there. The men and women that are over there right now believe we can win. We're winning over there. The Iraqis over there are turning the terrorists in. They're fighting over there for their own country. The people over there are dying for themselves. The people just need to believe it and get behind it. When the first soldier died, when the first body bag was filled, there wasn't any option of coming home. It had to be finished. And I don't see why the American people don't see it that way. I don't understand.
What kind of political opportunist would ignore the pleas of our own soldiers to extract a political victory against an opposition party?
My conscience is clear.
Millions have braved threats of death to vote. Tribal leaders are starting to turn al-Qaeda operatives into coalition forces, are starting to battle terrorist factions themselves, and are providing solid and actionable intelligence in an effort to rid their country of terrorist aggression. Yet you, Senator Reid, say,
Now, I believe that this war is lost.
I would like to know, Senator Reid, what do you base this belief on? The screeching dissatisfaction of the anti-war left, complete with their insatiable need for instantaneous satisfaction and sitcom attention spans? The destructive demands of the hate America one-worlders who would like to see everything overseen by the United Nations? The political narcissists willing to do anything for power?
The majority of the United States Senate, a majority of the United States House of Representatives has said the surge should not go forward.
In an article titled Real Deal in Ramadi by Army Sergeant Eddie Jeffers, who is stationed in Ramadi and who knows much better than you the conditions on the ground and the progress of the surge, he states, After the push, we established a joint security station and reintroduced the Iraqi Army and the Iraqi police back into the area. They've been doing patrols and keeping the peace and doing a damn fine job of it. We go out with them here and there, but we leave it mostly to them. We're winning the war and setting a good example of how to do it. Although my boys are bored because there aren't any doors to kick in or insurgents to shoot, they realize that this is the ticket out of this country in the right way. Yet, Senator Reid, you say,
Now I believe that this war is lost.
You, Senator Reid, have set the stage for a nightmare that young Sergeant Jeffers wrote to his father about last January and published in the New Media Journal as Hope Rides Alone, a nightmare facilitated by your inability to grasp the consequences of your political actions. But even thousands of miles away in Ramadi, Iraq, the cries and screams and complaints of the ungrateful reach me. In a year, I will be thrust back into society from a life and mentality that doesn't fit your average man, and then I will be alone. And then I will walk down the streets of America and see the yellow ribbon stickers on the cars of the same people who compare our president to Hitler. I will watch the television and watch the Cindy Sheehans and the Al Frankens and the rest of the ignorant sheep of America spout off their mouths about a subject they know nothing about. People like Cindy Sheehan are ignorant, not just to this war, but to the results of their idiotic ramblings, or at least I hope they are. They don't realize its effect on this war. The enemy is transitioning from the Muslim extremists to Americans. The enemy is becoming the very people whom we defend with our lives. And they do not realize it. But in denouncing our actions, denouncing our leaders, denouncing the war we live and fight, they are isolating the military from society, and they are becoming our enemy.
Now I believe that this war is lost.
Listening to your defeatist declaration, it is quite clear, Senator Reid, that you are committed to advancing your untruthful agenda, your factless political sound bites, placing politics before your duty as an elected official to our men and women in uniform, simply to advance your political agenda, an agenda that has about as much vision as those who stood stunned at the news that millions were slaughtered in Cambodia and Vietnam upon our anti-war promoted premature withdrawal from those countries, a pullout they pleaded with us not to execute. You may say that your conscience is clear, Senator Reid, but should you succeed in your dangerous plan to effect a premature withdrawal from Iraq by U.S. military forces, you will soon see all too clearly the blood on your hands, and that will be a blood that you will never be able to cleanse yourself of. But for now, you really should stop saying that you support the troops. It's time for your lies to end.
Now I believe that the Secretary of State, the Secretary of Defense, and you have to make your own decision as to what the President knows, that this war is lost, and that the surge is not accomplishing anything as indicated by the extreme violence in Iraq yesterday. My conscience is clear.